Hey, welcome one and all. This is the Professor, and we are rocking it Bollywood style. I guess where should we start? Well, we'll start this podcast like we start every podcast with the recap of Movie Community College. I know that's all your favorites. Somebody last week, the last one we did something kind of funny. They actually did like the timestamp where I stopped talking about that, so you get right into the Bollywood stuff. So let's go ahead and just talk about some of the Bollywood videos that I did. I did the EIC Outrage Minorities in Pakistan, and I called it Take Two because in that Take One, I was talking during the whole video. I was getting riled up, and a lot of you guys said, hey, dude, this sucks. I can't even hear what you're saying. I can't hear the video. This is really annoying. And I thought, well, maybe they're just being crybabies, and I went and watched that video. Oh, man, that was atrocious. I'm so sorry. So what I did is I put tape over my mouth, and I just sat and watched. And just was quiet. I did the surprise dance on the Finnair flight to celebrate India's Republic Day. I thought it was really weird, and some of you took offense to that. We had a whole bunch of Comic-Con stuff break, which really has nothing to do with India, but that kind of disrupted our mojo there for the Bollywood podcast. What's up, man? And then I did a AIB reaction video to Rape It's Not Your Fault, and it had the actress from Margarita and the Straw and Waiting in it, and there was some criticism that it was kind of a lame video because I didn't say much in it. I was taken back by the severity of the video. I was completely taken off guard by that. So that was a video that we did, and that was about a week ago. And then we had an interview with an Indian artist, Fayali Ganguly. And, dude, it was a good interview. I very, very nice woman, very sweet woman. And she messaged me right after I got everything uploaded saying I misspoke. I meant to say, Kashmir should be with India, not Pakistan. And, and she got killed for that, which I understand. And then we did something a little different. We introduced the Warrior Queen to you guys, and she did a movie review with me for Piku. We watched the film. We enjoyed the film. I gave it an A rating. I just really love that movie. I love Irfan Khan. I love the old guy. I love the woman. I love India. I love all these things, and so we did a reaction video on it, and my wife really enjoyed it, and I think we're going to be getting more of her with us. She seems to be opening up and warming up to the idea of Bollywood. The next video that kind of had to do with the Bollywood theme, and again, there's a lot of comic book stuff kind of smattered in on the YouTube page, and that was again because Comic-Con, the big Comic-Con hit, was the Lady Room, a web series, episode 5 and 6. It was kind of the finale, and so I gave you my thoughts on it and shared my thoughts with you guys on it, and it was, overall was enjoyable. I thought it was pretty enjoyable. Yeah, so you can go and check out the web series on Ladies Room. You know what? I need to back up. That Piku film, I really super enjoyed. I thought Khan did a great, great job in it. This is the second Khan movie that I've seen with Irfan Khan, and I'm going to declare him as King Khan. I think he is far superior to... you guys don't want to know what the Warrior Queen's doing right now. She is distracting me. She's being very, very naughty in a very mischievous way. I'm so glad that this is not a webcam show because I would have to charge you and make it R-rated for what just happened there. The wife really enjoyed it. The Warrior Queen really enjoyed the film. We had a good time watching it. And one of the other videos that we did on Waiting, the Waiting Room movie, oh my, that looks incredible. But I'm getting off track. I'm trying to go in order as best I can. I did a trailer reaction. A young man said, hey, can you check out the Southern Indian film? And it was, let me try to butcher this as best as possible, Sunsil Jakana, the movie theatrical trailer. and it was my reaction to that. This thing looked hilarious to me. It was just so stupid, like Naked Gun stupid, like Airplane stupid. It cracked me up when he's like, enjoy the effects of anti-gravity, and he punches the guy, dude. It just busted me up. I thought the thing looked so funny. And I was surprised at the pushback, right? Because I was surprised on the pushback. And I'm going to make a note here before I forget something here. I mean, because people are like, "What are you doing? This is crazy. No, you got to have better standards and whatnot." So, anyways, am I wrong on that? What do you guys think? Am I wrong? I didn't think It's just so funny. Some of the stuff. Listen, let me just say this because we're going to get into it when I talk about Sholay. Keep in mind, I am a fairly likable guy, I would say. I'm fairly intelligent. I'm fairly active, athletic. I enjoy life. I don't wish war on anybody. I don't go into movies hoping that they suck. I don't wish bad things on people. I like good conversation, good food. I like to hang out with friends and family. I like to laugh and love. I'm a person, right? And one of the things that I think is a lot of fun to do is learn this culture. However, I admit I am a little bit like a bull in a china shop. I am the ugly American. There are things like on the Sholay video. Okay, the Sholay video I thought was a cult classic. And a cult classic means this, from my point of view as the American. A cult classic is a film that was made that nobody really appreciated at the time, but over time it gains more and more followers. They're typically a box office disaster when they first come out, but it gets appreciated over time. That's what I thought Sholay. That's what it looked like to me. I didn't realize it was so revered, right? And with the two guys holding hands and they're in the motorcycle in the sidecar, it struck me funny. It struck my Western American sensibilities as funny because we all have a lens of mores and culture and how we were brought up that filter everything that we see, right? I'm sure there are things that if we took the Indian and we submerged them in American culture, there were things that I'm sure that you would say, this is just really weird. What are you guys doing? This is strange. I'll give you an example. Somebody made a comment on the Facebook page, and it was about me and my wife. And they made a statement like, wow, you guys have been together 26 years. You're the longest American couple I've ever heard of. Why would that be shocking to him? He didn't say it in a bad way. It wasn't derogatory. Well, think about how relationships come about in India, right? Marital relationships. You have arranged marriages. You have, things are very much old school. People don't typically just get divorced for any reason like they do in America. It's a different culture. The American culture is, let me just say this, is there is, when you get into pop culture of America, it is crude, it is fast, it is hard, it is a kind of a throwaway culture. It is a culture of bravado, not of humility. It is of strength, not of wisdom. And there are just some things that are going to strike me funny. I don't mean any offense by them, right? I had no idea that this film was so revered, right? And folks have said, well, you should do some research on these films before you do that. I understand that. And when I first started doing the trailer reactions to the Indian Bollywood films, snippets, I would do that, and then somebody said, well, you just quoted Wikipedia, dude. No, we want an honest reaction. So what I do is I just watch things. So somebody says, hey, check this out, watch it. I do, and then I react to that. Case in point, there was an SRK film, and I forgot the name of the film, where he's on his deathbed and he's dying. He's surrounded by his family, and it's considered to be a very, very emotional scene and one of the best SRK performances ever. I had no idea of that. What I was given the clip to react to was him in bed talking to a little girl. I had no idea that he's dying. It seemed really like, really? This is that? And folks got upset. And it's okay to get upset. God bless you. The Warrior Queen just sneezed behind me. If you get upset at something nice, it's okay. You can get upset with me. I don't care. I find sometimes the trolling funny. You know, and again, that's the American culture. We come from the American culture's built on your mama jokes. So there is a sense of crudeness and brutishness that the Americans think are funny, like, and it's, and I guess it probably will rub some of the international friends the wrong way. I guess what I'm saying is I don't mean any disrespect in this process at all. But we kind of got to just understand that we're coming at this from literally a world apart, right? Different backgrounds, different religious, different ideologies, right? And just as a lot of you are so proud of India and very much should be with your patriotism, I am the same way towards America and its founding. I am a traditionalist, right? I am very much a founding fathers kind of guy. And I know that doesn't always play well. So that's kind of what I wanted to say about those two things. And keep that in mind, friends. When you're listening to the show, when you're watching videos, there's a little bit of a culture gap. I'm trying my best. I'm applying myself. I don't just do, cookie cutter, reactions and give in like, ha ha ha, that's great, greatest ever, ha ha. I don't do that. I'm trying to be real with you people. I'm trying to be real, because I want you to be real with me. When you come on and say that absolutely sucked, be real, cool, all right. If it's something that I can control and fix, I will. If it's just a, if it is just a, personality thing, there's not much you can do about it. But I'm just going to try to be real. If I watch a movie and I like it, I'm going to tell you I like it. If I watch a movie and I don't like it, I'm going to tell you I don't like it. And I've done that before with films. And if I'm wrong, hear me out, guys. If I'm wrong, do I not go and examine things? Like when I was talking about SRK in the past, did I not go and search out some stuff to see? And you know what? Maybe I was a little wrong on SRK. I think he just makes some poor choices sometimes. But, hey, whatever. So does Tom Cruise, right? Doesn't mean I dislike Tom Cruise. He's a very talented actor. It's just some things you look at and you're like, what are you doing, dude? So, anyways, then I did another movie review, and the movie review was for a film called Bombay Velvet. And I love this film. Now, I gave it a grade of a B, just because, there was nothing really earth-shattering about it. There was nothing that was like, oh, this is going to be an epic of all time. There was none of that. But, man, that Kapoor kid could act. I love this Kapoor family. I thought that the filming was good. I know Martin Scorsese had a handprint on this thing as an executive producer, I think it was. And, boy, that thing shined. I really, really enjoyed it. Great popcorn film. A good watch. If you have friends that are Americans who aren't familiar with Bollywood films, this is the one I would say, show them Bombay Velvet. Show them Bombay Velvet. I love the acting. I love the music. I had to tell you, man, I go on different YouTube pages, and I forgot what they're called, but I find these things, they're the Bollywood jukebox for the films. Man, there's some great music out there. I just truly love it. And it makes me kind of reminisce the American film industry, because we used to have soundtracks. Like, you went and saw a movie because you really liked the soundtrack, and you would go buy the soundtrack, and you would kind of just rock out to it. And it looks like, just on the American front, Suicide Squad is going to kind of do some of that. So we did Waiting, a trailer reaction that I did, and got really emotional with it. And I'm uploading right now a overreaction where the Warrior Queen came in and watched my trailer reaction, then responded to my trailer reaction because it was pretty emotional. I thought she should see it because I talked about her a little bit in it. I did the shootout at Wadalala, and I did it as take 2 because I did this reaction once before on this trailer, but it was early on, and I think I'm going to go through and revisit some of these trailers that I was doing reactions to because I got to be honest with you. When I first started doing these trailer reactions, I had no idea, the depth of some of this stuff. And as I progressed in my knowledge of Bollywood and my appreciation for this fine film genre, you go back and you go, well, I had that wrong. Well, I had that wrong. And I think, you can go back and kind of retweet it. So you'll see some stuff that pops up that has take 2 on it. That's what it is hopefully I'm a little more refined. Just off topic, the Sholay, well, that's on topic. Getting killed by the thumbs down on Sholay, and that's fine. Give it to me if you disagree. But I am going to watch Sholay and do a movie review on it. It just a couple things. The guys holding hands, and again, it's a cultural thing. Everybody has told me that. I get it. It struck me funny. And the dude getting his arms cut off just looked hilarious to me. I didn't realize that this was like a real drama. I thought we were joking around that, but okay, that's neither here nor there. I apologize if I've offended you. And I know a lot of you are upset about the Daily Show gun control reaction video. Again, it's my culture. It's my culture. It's how we are raised here, right? I have a friend who is from South Africa, and he came to America for the first time, and I met him. I met him at work. Well, he wasn't my friend at the time. His father was a very wealthy man in South Africa, and his son was kind of failing in the multi-million-dollar family businesses that he owned. And so he was sending his kid to America to kind of toughen up and get a handle on his life before the reins are turned over to him. And I was assigned to take care of him and kind of look out for him, make sure he didn't get arrested, make sure he understood the customs. And we hung out and got to know each other. We were close to the same age. And, he referred to me as his American cousin. And one of the things that he said to me was, we all have this idea that every American has 2 homes. One is a cabin somewhere. And all the men are like Bruce Willis and all the women are like, kind of sleazy hoes. And so he was kind of surprised as I understand that, man. We all have culture. We all have how we're raised, and I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm not going to apologize about the founding fathers and the Second Amendment and whatnot. I'm not. I'm proud of it, just as you should be proud of your country. Now, the final video I would say for this kind of just recap is The Idiot Salesman. It's a new Indian web series that people said, hey, we saw you do the review of Ladies' Room. Would you look at ours? And I said, sure. Sure, why not? I'll look at it. And you know what? What I could gather, it was okay. There was no subtitles. The dude had super white teeth. That was impressive. And there are a couple things that made me laugh. But with that being said, whatever. So I got a few things coming up that I'm going to be doing to the page, to the YouTube page. I'm going to be doing a, maybe I'm going to call it the Ugly American in a Nutshell documentary. And we're going to be doing videos, and we're going to be talking about, somebody suggested, would you do a video on police brutality in America? Is that true? Yes, it is true, and I will do a video on that. I'm going to be doing a video on why Pakistan is a terrible neighbor. I'm going to be doing a video on the war on Islam, because there's a thing in globally that you can say America is having a war on Islam, and I'm not saying this as yes, it's a war on Islam. Yes, get them, get all the Muslims. That's not at all what I'm saying. But when you start looking into it, I was surprised at how far back it went, like America taking a stand against Islam. And I'm going to kind of present it to you as history, not as my opinion, not as like I think we should do this or do that, but I want to make it as history. We're going to be doing a one on the Nephilim. I think that'll be the first one up, is the Nephilim, and I think you guys may find this fascinating. And really what this is going to be is we do a thing on the podcast and radio show called audiomentaries, which are like documentaries for your ears, but I'm going to put it on the webcam and we'll kind of rock it that way. And then I want to do one too, and I don't mean this in disrespect at all, but I want to do one on SRK because he fascinates me. The fandom is so loyal for this guy that it blows me away. I haven't seen anything like that I could compare to in America, where the fans are just they are diehard SRK fans, and if they get any kind of hint of disrespect of SRK, man, they're on you, and that's okay. I don't mind. But that we're going to be doing that. We're going to be changing some things up a little bit on the page. So that's kind of the recap portion of it. And now what I want to do for my Bollywood portion of the podcast is, first of all, get you guys to go subscribe to the Trolled Chaos page. These guys are great. They're two young dudes, Dave and Sam, in India, and we're going to be rocking. We're going to be rocking some podcasting with them. We're going to be checking out some stuff and having some fun with it. So hopefully we're going to try to Skype it. I think Saturday we're going to be doing it. We're going to be Skyping on Saturday and trying to get this thing going and rolling and kind of going from there. But what I want to do is I want to talk to you about Bollywood films, and this is going to be Bollywood films I wish they would make, okay? So we're going to be talking about Bollywood films I wish they would make. So this would be me trying to pitch this to a production company, because these are the things that I would want to see. And, I'd love to hear your thoughts if this is stupid, or yes, no, or change this actor, that actor. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a break for radio's sake. You're not going to know. I'm just going to come right back on the podcast. But we're going to come back and we're going to talk about Bollywood films I wish they would make. Okay, and welcome back, one and all. To you, I'm sure the break seemed momentary. For here on radio, it was quite a doozy. So here's my first idea of a film that I would pitch to the Bollywood executives. It is going to be based on a video that I saw on EIC, The Coldest War. EIC did this video of the Coldest War, and I think it was in the Himalayas, where Pakistan and the Indian border come up and they meet. And there's always some kind of friction going on up there. There's a lot of tension. India finds out about Pakistan buying all the cold weather equipment that they're going to need for an invasion. And it kind of starts literally a Cold War standoff between India and Pakistan in this area. And so many people have died and been injured, not because one bullet has flown across the battle lines to strike an opponent, but they die from exposure. They die of lack of oxygen. They die because these walls of ice fall down on them, right? So that's kind of the scenario. And what I would want to do is in this film is I would want a kind of ice wally natural disaster-ish to happen, where it strands both the Pakistanis and the Indians, right? They're both in various levels of distress, but then it's going to take on an American feel of the film, the Sylvester Stallone film from 1993 called Cliffhanger, where he was search and rescue. And so there's going to be this search and rescue effort that's going to go in and save both Indian and Pakistani people, right? It's going to save both soldiers. And so what I would have is I would have this grizzled veteran who's been through war, who knows this terrain, who now does rescue for it, and that person would be John Abraham. We'd have John Abraham kind of leading the charge. He would be leading the search and rescue efforts, and he's going to have two young guys who are very militant in their views, who are very, very anti the other side with him, and these two young guys are going to see the beauty in the fragility of life because of this calamity that's happened. And the two guys are Arjun Kapoor, who was in Gundays, and Vinit Singh, who was in Gangs of Wasseypur. So you have these two young guys. One is Indian, one is Pakistani, because this search and rescue mission is a privatized company that comes in to help, and they have this tension over whose side is what. You have that political. So you're going to have Singh and Kapoor kind of have this natural tension because of India and Pakistani. One will be Pakistani, one will be Indian, but Abraham, the veteran, the older guy, the wily old veteran, is going to calm them down and focus them on the mission at hand. And when they do that, they begin to learn to respect each other, that life is precious, and maybe, we can make this into kind of a utopia, hold hands and sing Kumbaya. And it would be a very adventurous rescue film with crazy cliffhanger moments. I mean, if you haven't seen Cliffhanger from 1993, there's some crazy scenes in it when it came out here in America, of Sylvester Stallone, like literally hanging on the edge of a cliff by his fingernails, trying to pull himself up. So I think you could have that, and that would be a great way to capture the danger. I mean, I would want this film to be a feel-good movie at the end of how valuable human life is, but I would also like to just show this extreme environment in which this Cold War is setted, and I think that I think it would be really good. I think it would be informative. I think people aren't aware of this, what's going on up there, and I think it would be a great way to open up some dialogue and talk about this, and it would make for great visuals. I think. I mean, you could do all kinds of just crazy stuff in there, and you can pepper in a cast of folks and watch their struggles as they try to survive the temperatures while they're waiting on rescue. And so that would be number one. That is my number one pitch. My very first pitch that I would like to see. What Bollywood film I would like to see made. My second film that I would like to see, that I would pitch to the Bollywood producers, is a biopic. I think as an American, kind of on the outside looking into India, and a lot of this being new to me, because I think I represent a very distinct viewership of the average American white man who is curious about these things. And I hear from a lot of them who say, well, that seemed kind of odd to me, but enjoyable. And it's a new thing hitting. And I think there's going to be a lot of growth in this market. And so there are some people and places and things that we know of in the West. Not a lot, right? We're fairly ignorant, I think, of India. But I'd like to see a biopic on Gandhi. And I think that would be fascinating. I'd like to see, how did Gandhi become Gandhi? And I was talking to somebody about this, and they said he was kind of a controversial figure, that not all the Indians liked Gandhi, and I was shocked by that. Like, what? But it's Gandhi. And what I came to realize is I probably don't know anything about Gandhi. My recollection of Gandhi is a pacifist who, went on a hunger strike to protest something, and he kind of was very like a minimalist. Like, it looked like he took a vow of poverty, and he was just kind of wrapped in a sheet and had the glasses and was this feeble old man. But yet his actions, whether they were good or bad, I don't know, because I need a biopic to tell me this, shook the world. And I think that would be a very compelling film. I think it would be very compelling to see a Gandhi biopic where we see Gandhi as a kid. Like, there's kind of three parts to it. It's Gandhi as a kid. We see a little bit of his childhood, because that's kind of 90% of what makes you who you are happens in your childhood, typically. We see that. We see Gandhi as a young man, or, an adult, and then we see Gandhi kind of transition into the figure that, like, the Westerners know of him as that bald little old guy with glasses and the cane kind of thing, just walking around, smiling to everybody. So that would be my second one. My second pitch to the Bollywood production house would be a biopic on Gandhi. Who would play Gandhi? I don't know, man. I think it would be fun to take an unknown actor, and maybe do you guys know of any good method actors? Somebody who would like to get to play Gandhi, would become Gandhi. You get somebody who's unknown, and you get them to kind of go through that metamorphosis of losing weight and shaving their head and getting ready for this role. I think it'd be fabulous. I think it could be something that, if it's done right and has a good score, which I'm sure it would, because the Bollywood films, man, their music is outstanding. I think that would be like an Academy Award winner quality if it was done right, and just a nice, serious piece. But I can't, I'd like to see an unknown, or somebody who hasn't done a whole lot of film. I think that would be a really kind of cool piece to it. Now, my third pitch here. My third pitch is going to be based on an American film, and this is a film that I love. That's very popular in the West, and it's kind of a cult classic because it didn't have a whole lot of commercial appeal when it first came out, but it just keeps growing and growing and growing, and it's a great film. And the film is called Heat. And, I guess it's pretty good. It probably is an 8 out of 10. And so Heat came out in 1995, and it was produced by Michael Mann. And the cast was outstanding. It was Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Tom Sizemore. Who else was in there? Ashley Judd. Who else? Val Kilmer, John Voight. Great film. And so basically this film, Heat, is about this team of crooks, I guess, thieves. And they're really, really good at what they do. I mean, like, they're super good. And they're not just, let's go rob a bank. Let's go rob the U.S. Treasury. And they're able to get in and get out without anybody knowing. It's just like super spy kind of film, action, adventure. And this crime team, Tom Sizemore, Al Pacino. I'm sorry, no, it's not Al Pacino. It's Robert De Niro. Kind of leads the bad guys. He's kind of the head of this bad team. And Val Kilmer's in it, and he's part of it, and so they do crazy stuff, and they're ripping things off. Very much an adventure film. Al Pacino is the cop who's investigating it, and so what you have is this legendary actor, Al Pacino, going against this legendary actor, Robert De Niro, and they're and it's the heat, man. They're going, Pacino is one step behind him the whole time until the very end, the crescendo of the film. And I think this would be a great film for a Bollywood production company to take and remake and recast and make this Indian-based, because you have action, adventure, crime. Do you like the crime angle? Do you like the getaway film, the heist films? Do you like that kind of stuff? Great. The cop drama, right? With the cop chasing him down and trying to get him, right? So you have all this kind of cool stuff just happening in the film. And I have some ideas for like a cast for this, because I think this is something that you could rock it, dude. You could rock this film and just have this thing just be an incredible film. So we have the police officer, the guy who's going to chase them down. Right? He is the detective. He is the veteran detective who's very familiar with these crime lords and is a step behind them. I would have that part, and Al Pacino played it in the film. I would have that be Irfan Khan. right? Irfan Khan is the cop who's he almost has intuition on what they're going to do, right? To chase them down, to try to, he's very much on it, right? So you have then this team of the bad guys of Robert De Niro, Tom Sizemore, Val Kilmer. Now, Val Kilmer's character, he was kind of the muscle. He was kind of the gunman, the wheelman. I mean, he also was a great thief and everything, but he was kind of the tough guy, right? He was kind of the enforcer. So on the bad guys, I think you get oh boy, who would we get for the bad guys? I have somebody, and it really kind of would work really good after the transformation that you've seen him make in the films, right? I'm going to say, the bad guy, the guy who played Val Kilmer's part should be Salman Khan. He looked pretty buff in Sultan. I think he that would be a good character. It's kind of a supporting role. He's not the lead, but it would be star power, because this film's about star power. That's what you need. You need star power to carry this film. And so you have Irfan Khan chasing after these guys, and Val Kilmer's Salman Khan. So we got two Khans in there, right? Two Khans. We have then Robert De Niro's character. Who would you put in there? I mean, because that's a big role. And what if we mixed it up a little bit? What if we did something that maybe would take an actor out of their comfort role? And I think he could do it. And I think you could take a guy who's typically liked all the time and everything that he does, and you make him play a bad guy, and you make him play the protagonist of the film, Amir Khan. What? Amir Khan, dude, is the Robert De Niro character in Heat. Right? I think that would just be amazing. So you have three Khans in the film, dude, that would just rock. And then the Tom Sizemore, but, who plays Tom Sizemore? I don't know. Tom Sizemore was kind of a forgettable role in the film. I don't know. You just pick whoever. Maybe you mix it up and you put the Kapoor kid in there from Barfi and Bombay Velvet, and that's your team of super crooks that they're chasing down, that they're trying to get, that Irfan Khan is going after. And I think if you did that as a remake, man, what a powerful performance. I think fans would go out of their freaking mind, dude. Three Khans, and you have to work some kind of cameo in of SRK, right? So you get four Khans, dude. Well, to hell with it. You throw me in it, Gore Khan, and you get the five Khans. Dude, I'm getting crazy. I think that would be a great film, the remake of Heat. Again, and these are the Bollywood films I would like to see. I would love to see these things. I would love to see The Coldest War Ever. I would love to see a Gandhi biopic. I would love to see a remake of Heat. What do you guys think? What would be a good film? Like, what would be a film that you say, yeah, I want to see that film? Let me know, man, in the comments. Just hit me up on YouTube what you think would be a good film. How about let's do it this way. What American film do you think would make a great Bollywood film? And what Bollywood film do you think would make a great American film? I think you'd have a little fun with that and cast some things, man. But you do SRK and you do him as like again, back to this idea of Heat. You put just him in a cameo. When the Star Wars, the newest Star Wars film that came out last year, there were so many famous people in it who just wanted to do it as a cameo, right? The guy who plays James Bond was a stormtrooper. That's pretty cool, right? So I think you do a bunch of things like that. So anyways, let me know your thoughts on it. Whew, boy, that was an action-packed thing. I would love to see the Heat. Well, I think that's about all the time we have right now for this segment of the Bollywood Podcast, Episode 10. Thank you so much for listening, watching, however you're doing this. And please subscribe to the channel. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter, whatever it is, whatever medium that you are watching this on. And I will catch you guys later. Namaste, peace, and God bless.